Hello, my fairy tale things. Yes, we're talking about Shrek 4 again, but we're going to be talking about some of the fun toys that the movie got. Some really cool toys, actually. Shrek Forever After. To me, it's like the missing Shrek film. I'm really fascinated by this one. Not necessarily because I skipped it. I did watch this when it came out, but it's the one Shrek movie I don't remember, like, having the toys for, being hyped for, and being into. I don't even remember seeing toys at the store. Now, they did make toys for Shrek 4, and I've talked about them before on this channel. There are these little minifigures here, and they're so tiny. They're also quite collectible. You may also remember McDonald's had some nice toys, but I wanted something with a little more detail, a little more premium, and in my late internet surfing for Shrek Forever After toys, this is what I do. I like to research all these Shrek toys. I stumbled upon this really great set of figures. In this bag is the Shrek Kinder Egg Surprise set of toys, and I thought, hey, these would look really nice in the Shrek collection. And since you guys love toys of Shrek stuff, especially obscure Shrek characters, I thought, hey, you can unbox this with me and we can check out some of these cool figures here. Don't want to spoil the lineup too early there, but you know who's going to be here. We're going to have Shrek, Fiona, Puss, but they're going to look really cool. Now, a bit of background behind this set. Kinder Surprise Eggs are these chocolate eggs with little toys inside of them, and these were the toys that were inside of the chocolate eggs. To a lot of my international viewers outside of the United States, that may be common knowledge, but for those of us in the US, we were not graced with the glory that is Kinder Surprise Eggs. I never got to have these figures because Kinder Eggs just happen to be highly illegal in the United States. Really, you can't have them. You can't have them at all. They've caught people, like, smuggling them across the Canadian border, and you'll go to jail for having Kinder Eggs. They are highly illegal still to this day in the United States. Now, in the years since then, the Kinder Egg Company found a little bit of a workaround, because you may think, hey, wait a second, I live in the US and I've seen Kinder Eggs at the grocery store, and I saw them recently and thought, hey, they got here, maybe they're not illegal anymore. But no, those eggs are different. Those are yogurt things. They kind of are soft yogurt you eat with the toy in a separate container from the egg. These are real Kinder Surprise toys. These are toys that are fully encased of a chocolate egg, which, again, we didn't get in the United States. And as we're going to learn, we were totally robbed in the US, because these are some of the nicest toys of Shrek Forever After. So let's check it out. Let's see some of these cool figures here. I'm excited to put these together and check them out. So we're going to start with Wolfie here, because he sticks out to me as a really unique character you don't typically get in the Shrek toy lines. Now, we have gotten figures of Wolf before, and I do have one with me. See if I can find him here. This is the original Wolf from the McFarlane Toys Shrek line. It's a nice detailed figure, but it always looked very off-model to me. Like, he's licking his lips like he's going to eat the pigs, which is true to the fairy tale, but not the actual Wolf character. Like, the character of Wolf is just a chill dude, voiced by Aaron Warner, one of the producers of Shrek. And this one looks and sounds like Aaron Warner. He just kind of looks casual, like, hey, I'm here. And you can see he's holding a wig, because this is a unique figure of Wolf. This is the alternate timeline Wolf from Shrek 4, as opposed to the regular Wolf. So this is the one that is kind of a major domo of sorts to the evil Rumpelstiltskin. Now, in the United States, we actually did get a Big Bad Wolf figure in that very rare Shrek 4 toy line. And yeah, I'm going to struggle to hold back laughter here as we compare what is a paid figure in the United States to what is essentially a freebie that comes with a candy egg. Which one looks nicer to you? Gee, I wonder. Wow, there's no question about it. The Kinder figure is the superior one by far. I mean, look, even his little fangs are painted. It is just a superb amount of detail for a little figure that comes in candy. Honestly, they could have left these unpainted, and I still would have been impressed with the sculpting work on them. But the paint job on it is phenomenal, and it puts the figure here, this one's by Playmates Toys, to shame. And it really does suck, like, how not detailed these figures are, because these ones are by Playmates. They make real toys. They're a legit United States toy company, and they kind of let us down with some of these figures. Like, this just doesn't look like the Wolf, but there's no question that this one is Wolfie. So there's our first cool, obscure figure. And now we're going to look at Shrek. You know, you really judge a Shrek toy line on its merits by Shrek himself. They have to do Shrek right, and this is a phenomenal Shrek figure. There's no other way to say it. Absolutely phenomenal. The color green is perfect. It's a little light, a little olive, but if you look at Shrek Forever After, the whole movie had like this almost yellow filter to it. Shrek looked really yellow in that film, so that actually fits for this figure. The tunic and vest do look a little glossy, but there's like a strange material these are made out of. It just inherently looks glossy, but it gives it charm. It gives it some shelf presence. His teeth and mouth also look really nice with some rich detail there. Look at the paint applied to the eyes and eyebrows. I mean, this is a small figure. It is impressive what they've been able to do here. I mean, just to give you an idea for scale, this Shrek right here, this naked Shrek, this is the McFarlane Minis line. So this is like the tiny figures for the McFarlane ones, and this is like, I don't know, I would say maybe a little under 3.75. It's a little shorter than your Star Wars figure, and then this guy's even shorter than that. Like, this guy's tiny. He's barely an inch tall, and he just looks phenomenal. And another thing I love about these figures is you'll notice that all of them have these little environmental pieces incorporated into the feet so that they don't fall over, so they can stand and display. And it's just a little bit that goes that extra mile. They could have just done like a big blank base, but no, they actually wanted to do stuff that ties into the environment. It's a small detail, but it goes a long way in making these figures look really fantastic on a shelf. And you may have noticed when I turn Shrek around, he's got a little something behind his back. That is Sir Squeakles, his daughter Felicia's favorite plush toy from the movie. And it's a big plot point when Shrek has this plush in the alternate timeline and realizes that his kids do not exist in the alternate timeline. And then he essentially wiped them away from existence. It's the only time we actually see Shrek cry in the film, legitimately cry. It's such a heartbreaking moment. Shrek here looks a little more playful, so I think it's safe to assume this is Shrek after he leaves the terrible timeline and restores his children's lives. He's just kind of playing with his kid with Sir Squeakles in the back, and then one hand just kind of rested on his belly. It's a nice Shrek pose. It's very Shrek-like. And yeah, I also love that it is so Shrek-like and different, because so often we get Shrek figures that are doing the same thing. Especially with Shrek Forever After merch. I feel like everything we got for Forever After and afterward is Shrek doing the wall. He's doing the big ogre scream, which I get it. It's a big part of the character. You want to display him on a shelf looking cool, and how cool is it when he does his big ogre wall? But it is nice to see Shrek in a very, like, gentle domestic pose that isn't quite as dynamic. It just makes him look different on a shelf of endless Shreks. And again, look at the detail on Sir Squeakles. Like, this is so minuscule, so microscopic. It is amazing how they did that. So yeah, that is a phenomenal figure. Okay, let's see who else we got here. This guy looks cool. This is just like an ogre grunt. I thought at first it might have been Brogan, the John Hamm character introduced for the movie, but it doesn't look like it's him. Just some background grunt. Tell you what, in post, I will look at some screenshots of the ogre army, and I will put on screen if I find the guy that looks exactly like this, because I imagine this was modeled after an actual ogre in the film. But yeah, you'll notice the sculpt on this guy is just phenomenal. All of the muscle work, like in his arms. This guy's got some seriously strong arms, and he's got a big Thor hammer. It looks like the one from the Avengers. Just a really fun figure. I love it when Shrek lines include an extra character that, like, you wouldn't normally see in a figure line. Although I will say, it is always going to be the biggest missed opportunity that Shrek 4 did not have proper action figures, because it was the most action-focused out of all the Shrek movies, and I would have loved to have seen figures of all the different ogre warriors. Now, the Playmates line, I think it did have a generic ogre grunt. Let's see. Yeah, I got this guy here on my shelf, and not the same ogre grunt, definitely different ogre grunts, but I will always be a little bummed we don't have like 4 to 5 inch articulated action figures of these ogre warriors, because I would love to assemble a whole shelf of these guys. I think it would look really fantastic, but as it is, we did get one in this set, and I think he looks really awesome. So there's the 3 we've looked at. Let's look at Donkey here. I say that as I pick up Puss. Okay, here's Donkey, and again, he looks great. Now, Donkey here is also the alternate version of Donkey, because he's got his harness on when he is dragging the witch's carriage in the alternate timeline. Now, in the US, at McDonald's, we did get an alternate figure of Donkey, but it's from a different scene. This is when he's grabbing the waffle from the trap the ogre warriors, like this guy here, has set up. So he's not wearing the harness, but if you lived in some other parts of the world, like Mexico, for instance, you did get this figure of Donkey with the harness on, but you only get part of the harness. You don't get the whole thing. This figure goes all the way and gives us the full detailed harness, and it's really ambitious for a figure of this scale to have a figure with so many different hits of paint. Like, This could not have been easy to manufacture, and I just wonder, like, does the Kinder Egg Company take a loss on the toy and make money on the chocolate egg? I don't know what the pricing is for these things, but this is more detail than a premium action figure. It's really amazing what they were able to pack in a essentially free trinket that comes with chocolate. I'm just amazed by this. You'll have to let me know if you live in a country that sells chocolate Kinder eggs, or maybe you got one of these back in the day. Like, what was the pricing on these? I don't know, but like, I could tell you right now in the United States, a figure like this, you would be tough to find one of these for under $10, because it's such a detailed little figure. It's really, really phenomenal. Okay, Fat Puss. What else is there to say on Fat Puss? We look sassy. This is a sassy looking Fat Puss. He's got his hands on his hips. He's got his sword and hat. And he's standing on the pillow, the exact pillow that Fiona has him on in the movie. That is a phenomenal figure. I love, again, the environmental bases on these are amazing, really amazing. Okay, what else we got here? Here's Gingi. I don't know why some of these came in their own bags. It was really odd, but, you know, I ordered these out of, I think, Italy. I ordered these from, and they were just, like, gone for months, and I'm like, oh, God, the package got lost at sea somewhere. But nope, here it is. Oh, Gingi's one of these ones you gotta build. He's 2 pieces, and, wow, it's a very creative take on the Gingi character. And not because it's the warrior Gingi. Actually, was a lot of merchandise of the gladiator Gingi for Shrek 4. They pushed this character hard because there was a deleted scene that would have prominently featured him battling Shrek. But it was taken out of the movie. So in the final film, he's not in it much. But originally, he was going to have a bigger focus. And the reason I say this figure is unique is because he's stuck to a wall. He's actually just stuck to this wall here. And I think that's really cool because it allows us to have an accurate Gingi that is very two-dimensional, like Gingi in the movies. With a lot of the Gingi figures, especially the McDonald's ones, they make Gingi, like, really thick. You know, they buff him up so that he's not a fragile figure and so that kids won't break him. But in this case, you know, that problem has been solved by putting him up against a very sugary wall. This is really unique. And again, this is a line where displayability comes first over playability. Heck, if I was a kid and I got these inside of my chocolate egg, I would have been really impressed. Yeah, even as a kid, I would have been like, wow, these are nicer than the McDonald's toys. I mean, these are just really cool. I'm going to zoom the camera in here just so you can see more of the detail on these guys. It is just phenomenal. Wow. And come to think of it, I'm noticing these cuts in the figures. I think these guys all came in pieces. Yeah, there we go. They all came in pieces. Oh no, he has been cut in half like Darth Maul from the Phantom Menace. So they probably came like that in the egg, and then you had to build them. God, what kid would mistake these for candy? What is wrong with us American kids? Like, a kid actually looked at one of these and ate it. I don't even know what to say about American children. Okay, let's look at Dragon. This is cool. This is another we gotta build. So let's make a little bit of space here so we can build the dragon. Oh yeah, I can only tell you, this is gonna be a favorite. So there's the base of Dragon. Here's the stomach of Dragon. Oh, it's a little tough to click there. Oh, that is tough. I'm kind of glad these were pre-assembled. Oh man, hang on a second. And we're back. Okay, so this figure made me really nervous. I was off camera, and it felt like it was gonna snap, especially the wings and the stomach, but it clicks in a certain way, and when it does click, it makes a hard snap. So, a word of caution if you decide to buy this set, and they do come unassembled for the most part, or at least some of your figures do. Be careful assembling these. Be gentle, and don't force it. You need to slide it in where it feels like it's gonna click and make that snapping noise, so yeah, but now the dragon is complete. I mean, this is a gorgeous figure. What makes this dragon so great is that she's really angry. Look at that face. And usually the dragon figures we got are very friendly looking. Well, this is from the alternate timeline where Dragon does not know Donkey, and Dragon, spoilers for a 15-year-old movie, she actually eats Donkey. And fun fact, they intended Donkey to die in the alternate timeline. In the original cut of the film, at least, Dragon would have ate Donkey, and he would have died until Shrek changes the timeline. But they changed that, but still, it was worth it because we got that great meme of Donkey staring at Dragon. This is Dragon from another timeline, and she needs to look mean. And I love how angry they made that face sculpt. And my God, look at, again, the paint details. Look at the eyes. It's really amazing. Like, wow, that is a hell of a head sculpt, guys, for a figure this small. It's really, really impressive. Again, why this line just stood out to me as one that is a cut above the rest. Okay, we have 2 more figures, and they're the 2 most exciting ones. First up is Rumpelstiltskin, and this figure is freaking awesome because, one, it's Rumpelstiltskin. He's arguably the best villain we ever got in the Shrek movies, not counting Death. And he didn't get that good of a figure from McDonald's. I've never been a fan of this figure at all. I thought the angry wig made him look like the Heat Miser from You're Without a Santa Claus. And look, that's my favorite Christmas special of all time, but when I'm in a Rankin Bass mood, I put those figures out for Christmas, and then I take them down after Christmas. I don't need Rumpelstiltskin here to be Mr. Heat Miser year-round. And his outfit is, like, pink, and I don't know, man. This does not look imposing. His pose is also bad. I don't like how he's really rat-like here. He's kind of, like, scheming with his hands. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a very Rumpelstiltskin thing to do. He was always a little bit of a rat man in the movie, but it's just not very imposing for an action figure. I want this guy to really, like, loom over my Shrek figures as a real threat. And this one does a much better job with that. Granted, they still did him in the angry wig, but it's a little toned down. It's not quite the Heat Miser puppet. This is more so the live-action Heat Miser, for those that remember that terrible live-action remake. But the outfit this time is so much better. It's not pink anymore. It's white with gold trim, and it looks so much more like the movie. And what really sells this figure is the absolutely fantastic base of Rumpelstiltskin's contract. Now, this may be the only toy we got of the contract itself. I can't recall another time we got the contract in toy form. And I really love the insane detail here. Look at that. It's an exact rip of the graphics from the movie, complete with Shrek's signature on the back. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. Let me take the base off so you can see. Oh, there's the real boy contract. So this is the one Pinocchio's about to sign when he gets pulled away, and then this is the Ogre 4-day contract that causes the whole movie to go down. So you actually get both contracts in toy form, despite the fact that the Pinocchio one is blocked when you put the other one on. So they didn't even need to do that. They just went the extra mile and gave us, honestly, I'll be frank, one of the coolest and most unique figures in all of my Shrek lecting time. I love this so much because it's just so different from what we got with all the other Shrek toys. It's really cool. And finally, I saved the best for last, the one I've really been waiting for, Ogress Fiona in her warrior design. I love that Shrek 4 really brought the focus back on Fiona. I felt like she was sidelined a bit in Shrek 2, and although Shrek the Third does have that princess's subplot where she breaks out of jail, it still bothered me that she wasn't on the main quest with Shrek. This time around, we actually do see Shrek and Fiona as an action duo, at least for the second half of the film, and I just love this design of Fiona. Now, we did get a figure of her in this design from McDonald's, and I am going to be frank, I do not like this figure at all. I've just not been a fan of it. My main gripe is that they did Fiona not in her actual battle armor, which would have made a more exciting figure. Look at the shoulder pads, look at the gauntlets and the boots. They're not on this Fiona figure. It's just not that great. And I don't know, something about the head sculpt always looked a little off. She looks a little mean. Granted, this is a fierce version of Fiona, but this is the Fiona I know. This is a fantastic figure. And also, as a little bit of a comparison here, you may recall that this Fiona was in the Playmates Shrek line, so we'll do a comparison there. I think both have the same level of... Well, no, they don't. Now that I look at it, look at Fiona's necklace. Look at the tooth necklace there. It's not painted on the Playmates one, that again was charged a premium price at Toys R Us stores, versus the free candy figure, which has that necklace painted. Wow, that is fascinating. Also, fun fact about that tooth necklace. You may be thinking, why is Fiona wearing a tooth necklace? Well, it comes from an earlier version of the film where Fiona and all of the Ogre warriors rode around on giant warthogs that they would have tamed. And I guess part of that taming process was they would have ripped the teeth out of the warthogs and wore them around their neck as kind of a show of honor. That would have been awesome. They had a lot of plans for, like, the Ogre world and all the warrior ogres, but there's so much going on in Shrek 4. It's such a compact film that I get it. They just kind of had to push the story along. But hey, we got arguably the best version of Fiona, the awesome, like, Xena warrior princess Fiona, and she leads the resistance, and now we have that in figure form. One day I would love to get, like, a proper, 6-inch action figure of this version of Fiona, but until then, this will suffice. And I just want to show you guys, like, just how tiny these figures are. I don't think you're quite comprehending it. Here's a McFarlane Shrek. This is like a 6-inch action figure. Here is the Kinder Shrek. He's, like, so tiny. And then here's Rumpelstiltskin, and there's the contract. So unless you're on camera, you really can't see the full written contract with the human eye. Like, I'm looking at it right now, and it just looks like gibberish. But if you zoom all the way in, it does seem to be the exact one from the movie. Sure enough, you can see Shrek's signature, which is kind of tough to see holding this figure in person. I mean, that is just crazy. Finally, we have the enclosed instruction manuals, which, we don't really need to look through all of these because they just show you how to put together the figures, and thankfully, most of these were already put together. But we can look at the beautiful illustration here of the figures, and this illustration does not do it justice. These figures simply look better when photographed in person. They photograph and look phenomenal. But there they are, magic Kindle. And, there's Wolfie. I guess we'll quickly go through these, right? There is Fiona. There is Gingi and his wall of candy. There's Fat Puss. There is random Ogre Man. Does it say names on here? Is it going to tell me who this is? No. We'll name him. We'll call him Kindor. Kindor the Ogre, named after the egg he was born in. Here is Dragon. This is the only instruction manual you're going to need, or at least I needed for putting these together. There is Shrek and Donkey. There we go. Now we have fully, documented the Kindor Shrek instructions. They won't ever be lost media thanks to this video. Thank God. So let's just line them up real quick and look at this awesome setup. We've got Shrek and Fiona. We'll zoom in there and get the details one more time. There's Shrek and Fiona. Then we've got our trusty sidekicks, Puss and Donkey. So you get all of the main cast in their alternate universe versions. And then we have some supporting characters with Gingi, Wolfie, Kindle the Ogre, and of course, Rumpelstiltskin. So there is the full set of 8 figures, and I was really impressed by these. I like them quite a bit. I would highly recommend tracking these down for your Shrek collection, especially if you're like me and you have a soft spot for Shrek 4, a movie that just did not get the proper toy treatment. So there we are. There's a very fun set of toys. Thanks for watching, and as always, have a happily ever after. This channel would not be possible without the support of viewers like you. A huge special thanks to Griffin Newman, Antonio Bocina, Lil CJ, Don Tizzle, Pladley, SMO3, Pizza Topping, Tucker Time, The Luke Rosati, Jamie, Telephone Wire, and Shotgun Justice. If you'd like to support the channel, consider a 99-cent donation via YouTube membership. And a special thanks to you for making it to the end of the video.